Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hall of Game. The Hall has been reopened once again this quarter. My name is Christian Buckley. The order is here, all together, back again, going from left to right, top to bottom, as you see us. Mike Connors. How you doing, Mike?
Pretty good, man. I'm excited to do another installment of the Hall game with the boys.
Hell yeah. You excited to fight for your game of choice?
To the death.
That's what you gotta have, man. You gotta have that energy.
Yep.
To my right on screen, Jack Martin. How are you?
Hello, good to be here. Always like when the hall reconvenes, we seal it off in silence and stasis when we leave. All the statues of our games frozen in silence. So happy that we've reconvened here.
Yes, yes. Reuniting with the Hall and the Order. Kevin Diaz, reeling with emotions at the moment, but how are you?
We're gonna really focus. We're gonna try to relax a little bit. Temperature's a little bit too hot right now. We're gonna calm down. I'm gonna state my case on my game, and we're gonna hear some good games as well. And we're gonna have a nice stream. Right, that right, fellas? Yeah, fellas? Yeah, gonna have a nice stream, everyone. Yeah, nod your heads. Nod your fucking
Yes.
heads. Not like episode in part 2 got announced. Not like we saw it a full minute. Christian, we saw it.
We did. We did indeed. Will Final Fantasy VII make it in tonight? We'll see. And rounding out the Order, Omar Nakvi, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'll just say you're lucky to have me back because I was so pissed about Dark Souls last time. I thought about throwing in the towel forever, but I came back to fight some more. And
Yeah.
it's great to be back.
Yes. So the Order has been restored. We're all back together. If this is your first time watching a Hall of Game or returning or it's been a minute, basically what this is every quarter we decided a year and 3 months ago to sit down, bring a game for discussion that we believe is one of the greatest games ever made, fight for it in a 6-minute capped presentation, followed up by however long cross-examination question and answer session for the presenter to answer questions from members of the Order, because after everybody has presented and answered for their games, we will be doing a voting ceremony, single voter, one at a time. Everybody's going to give one game 1 point, one game 3 points, and one game 5 points. You cannot vote for the game that you brought. You cannot pool your points on one game. It is 3 set point values awarded to 3 separate games. The one that you want to get in the most, second most, and third most. However you weight that panel, as you know, is up to you. Whether it's your personal experience with the game, the presentation, impact, however you make your decisions for your votes is up to you. And in terms of what is not allowed, we have it set so every time you bring a game, you cannot bring it again. So I brought Jack and Daxter a year ago. That game's never getting in. ever because I can't bring it back again. But other games that have been brought by other people are fair game to be brought by other people on the panel. Is there anything I missed? Do we have any questions? There are 10 games in the Hall of Game currently. We have a top 10 unofficially. So.
Ooh.
Oh.
We got to do a ranking at some point.
That'd be fun. We have, at the end of the night, we do the votes. The top 2 games get inducted. We're inducting 2 games into the Hall of Game tonight, not just one. And I think that's everything. So, how are we feeling? I will spin the wheel to decide how are we feeling about the ceremony.
I'm excited. I want the wheel to tell us who's going first.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Same.
In the wheel. The wheel, guys, we saw it. I'm sorry. Okay, no.
Well, Mike, I'm glad you're excited because the wheel has decided that you are presenting first tonight.
All right, cool. This is like, when you're in school and you get called first.
Mike
Just
Connor
gotta-
with the most inductees so far.
Yeah.
Ready to bring the heat once more.
It's got 3 already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah, you've got the record right now. You're the one to beat. So.
Well, admittedly, I'm coming with less of a presentation as I normally do. However, I still think that it's quality, so we shall see.
We will. I'm going to set a timer for 6 minutes. Do you want me to give you a warning at any point, like a halfway warning or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Give me a halfway warning and then like a minute warning, but I doubt I'll go that long.
All right. So whenever you're ready, I will start the timer.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
All right. Hello, members of the Order. As we convene here today for the 6th time in a row, I don't know, 6th or 7th. It's up there. We've gone through this before, and we've seen a lot of games. But I'm bringing a game today that I don't think any of us have really ever brought here in terms of the type and the genre of game. So I'm bringing Civilization 6. So this is the newest installment in the Civilization series. It's the quintessential turn-based strategy 4X video game series, basically. And as a disclaimer, I've never played any of the earlier Civilization games. As I understand it, like each one sort of builds on the last. And I picked up Civilization 6 in 2020 and really, really enjoyed it. And honestly, have kept playing it till today. So I can pretty much say with confidence that this game is probably one of the best strategy games to ever exist. I'll say that without having played many other strategy games. I'll say it just because I want to say it, even if it's not true. But let's start for what 4X stands for. You control an empire, you play against AI enemies, and you explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. And this game, I think, does each one of those remarkably well. Let's start with explore. The map and resource generation is pretty top notch most of the time. You have a wide amount of factions that you can choose to play from, and these also become your enemies as well. And it allows you to be pretty ridiculous, like being Gandhi, but playing him as like a warhawk with like a bunch of nukes and like using it on people. That's pretty fun. I don't know. Like to me, that's pretty silly. The graphics I'd say are pretty fairly standard for like a modern game. It's nothing to write home about, but there are like the buildings that you can build are extremely detailed. Like the developers put a lot of attention onto like some of these models. You could build like wonders of the world basically. And one of the ones I had written down is like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. And like those look really, really awesome. And it's very fun to like build those. Going to expand, the game forces you to push your empire's boundaries by taking advantages of the resources on the map, sort of like adding like a different layer to the strategy. Each faction has buildings and troops that they can build that are unique to them, which sometimes adds an expansion. And you can also expand by trying to convert people to a religion, to your culture, through military, or if you just want to be, internal, you can try to like win basically by being the best at science and going to the moon. So depending on depending on what you choose, you can expand in different ways, and no two games are alike, which is what I think is really cool about this type of genre of game, and what I think this game does especially well. Exploit and exterminate, like any self-respecting country, I guess you gotta exploit the shit out of your natural resources. So you do that a lot in this game. That's kind of the thrill of it, though. You get to live out a fantasy almost. And you can also, win by just like becoming the dominant power on whatever continent or world that you've built. So yeah, I honestly think that this game is really layered. It does like the basic core things of that turn-based strategy games should do. It does those really well, and yeah, it's just a really cool game that I liked a lot. So that's my presentation.
Solid. You got 2 minutes left. Any more time? You good?
I'm good.
All right. Well done.
Hit me with your questions.
Oh, playtime count on Steam.
Mine?
Yeah.
Good question.
Probably like 100 hours. Not like
Okay.
much. Yeah. Some people like really play the crap out of this game. Like
Yeah, I've seen like 4,000 hours on my friends list or something.
yeah. So I like comparatively, I haven't like played as much as other people, but like from the moment I played this game, like to begin with, I was like, this rules. So it's a feeling,
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's healthy. I think you're doing a good job.
Mike, what got you interested into playing this? 'Cause you mentioned you didn't play the other one, so what was it about this one that got you interested into starting it?
Well, I used to play SimCity a lot as a kid. Like the old like SimCity, where you like basically got to like build like I don't even know if like it's still around, to be honest. But like you got to build like skyscrapers and stuff, and I really like that aspect of sort of like advancing and like choosing different paths to like chart your own course in a game. That's kind of like why I like Fallout and like all those other RPGs and stuff. And so I don't know, I just wanted to try like a 4X strategy game, like a modern one. So Civilization seemed like the one to go with.
Mike, you laid out a couple options for a victory path to like win. How?
Yep.
I'm assuming because you have so many hours in the game, like, have you achieved victory multiple times, or is it just like one concurrent save that you have, or like how many options and paths have you seen through to an ending?
So yeah, I've like seen it through to an ending probably like I think like 3 or 4 times. And I've done every single one except for religion, I think. And I think I did science twice. So you can win through religion, science, military, or culture. Yeah, and I think I did everything except for religion.
You did
So-
science twice, but never once religion.
If that just tells you the type of person I am, Omar.
That's
So
cool.
I assume the science path and ending was your favorite then, if you did it twice.
I think it's the most interesting. Like you get to really like move past like where we are into like sort of just like science fiction in a way, and I think that's kind of fun. And it all ends with like you building a spaceship to go to the moon, which I think is just like cool. So
That's cool.
A little bit of an aside, but have you heard of City Skylines at all?
I
on
have
Steam?
heard of it. Yeah.
Okay. You might like it. SimCity kind of died out, and then I think that one's been the current mainstay for people, I think.
Gotcha.
But I like SimCity, though, a lot.
SimCity was fun. Oh, I played
Yeah.
it like back in the day. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also have a question. In a
Yes.
similar vein that like there's a bit of like a I know like a lot of people like games such as like simulation games and like Animal Crossing, right? Skylines as well. In the vein of like it's a very unique game that for those that like to organize things and like to just meddle with the small things in aspects of life, like maybe if you have like ADHD, whatever, stuff like that, right? Like could this not like literally, but like you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like that just like I feel like I'm like that. Like I like
I get
games
you.
that I keep everything organized. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like
No,
do you
I-
think that this game fulfills that specific itch? Do you feel like?
Yes, as
Okay.
somebody who's like probably OCD, haven't been, don't know for sure, but I'd say yeah. I think it's fun to like kind of micromanage in that way. Like, you tell like certain military units to go do certain thing while you're also multitasking, which is like part of the challenge and the skill of it. Um, but yeah, like wanting everything to be sort of just like the exact way you want it. This game like gives you that opportunity in that window, and I think it does scratch that itch for me.
Uh, the last question I have is so the only strategy games I've really played are like tactics of like you're commanding units on a battlefield. So I imagine if you can be nuked up Gandhi, war is an option here. Is there like a combat system? Like, are you commanding like battalions in real time at all, or is it just like you send out an order and then like based off of behind the scenes math and your own stats, like you'll get an outcome?
No, you can control like your military units like down to like each unit basically. So you can send out like, you know, 8 different types of military units to like attack a certain city or something, and you can control each one of them to do certain things. It's turn based, so like each unit like has only like one turn. But yeah, you can get like that detailed with it. And the animations, to be honest, are kind of funny. Like they're like people like on a map or whatever, and they're like really big in comparison to like the actual surroundings. And yeah, it's you can get pretty like detailed with it.
Do you think Gandhi in real life would have turned to nukes?
Interesting question. Quite interesting.
I doubt it. But
Do you think so?
maybe.
I know he was about peace, but like, I don't know. Does
I
the
would- I
threat?
would say-
you know. Go ahead.
Did I miss a post credit scene in the movie that they made? Well, I forget who was in it.
Was it
Ben Kingsley, I
who
think.
played
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley? Yes, Sir
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah. Any other questions for Mike?
Is nuclear deterrence, Mike. Look it up.
I mean, maybe Gandhi would have them.
Mhm.
I don't know if he would ever use them though.
Sure,
I feel like having them and using them are two different things.
definitely.
Yeah. Just look outside our windows, That's
Mm-hmm.
living
Yeah.
proof. All right. Yeah. Any other questions for Mike, or we get to move on?
It's a solid choice.
Yep. Yeah, we're good.
Always been interested in Civ. Never tried it.
You should try it, Jack.
Yeah. One of my friends is huge into Civ. Like I've heard a lot of very good things about the series. So.
To be honest, I got into it on the Nintendo Switch before buying it on my PC. It's much better on like a PC, probably much better on like an Xbox, but like the Switch version's pretty good.
Nice.
I ended up getting a Switch copy of that because Amazon always has it for like $9 for some reason.
Yeah, it's like
I was like-
always so cheap.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great job, Mike. Great pick. Great presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will begin the next wheel spin right. Safari's loading. Right now.
How big is this wheel?
It is slowing down. Next up is Kevin Diaz.
I had one more time. Okay.
Again, do you
okay.
want half-minute warning or halfway and then 1 minute, or what do you want?
I don't know how long I'm gonna go. If I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Okay.
So I don't think I'll go full 5 minutes, but we'll
Well, you got 6, so
see what's going on. All right.
I'll set a timer.
So am I sharing the screen?
You can, yeah, if you have it prepped.
Okay. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And I'll highlight.
You all will see my Twitter feed for a second, but oh wait, why is it doing that? Is it showing my Twitter feed? It is,
No,
right?
I'm seeing a broken interface.
Okay, cool, got it, cool. Let's see. Let's definitely not do that. Let's not do that. All right, hold on. I got this, guys. We're good. We're good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Arcade is dead. Arcade is dead. A developer once said, a developer named Housemarque said that once. And from that, we almost got probably a really bad battle royale, right? Probably was going to be, bad. And also, we were going to lose what made Housemarque so good, right? Alien Nation, Dead Nation, Matterfall, I hear is pretty good. My personal favorite, Resogun, the best PS4 launch game ever released and ever will release, right? And that was at a time, right, specifically around Matterfall, when it was like, man, can the modern day consumer enjoy an arcade experience, right? That was a big question that they had behind closed doors, right? A few years later, PS5 gets announced, PS5 does come out, and a few months after that, we get the first PlayStation 5, besides Demon's Souls, true original PlayStation 5 exclusive with Returnal. Now, what's interesting about Returnal is also from Housemarque. It's the first game that they ever went 3D with, right? And I'm gonna sit here and make the point that this is as monumental as when Guerrilla went from first-person shooter to third-person action-adventure RPG, right? This should be considered one of the great leaps in the studio, one of the great evolutions in the studio with Housemarque, with them being able to not only create a unique experience with Returnal, but have it still be the same feeling of that arcade spirit. And they were able to retain that in spite of it being completely different, not being 2D, not being top-down, etc. And not even being a traditional arcade game that they used to make, of course, with Resogun, etc., like we said before. This game, at its core, truly puts the gameplay at front and center, and it stays that way throughout the entire time. And what this game also what it requires out of you is to not only survive, not only dodge these projectiles that if you just took Returnal and put it top down, that is what they used to make. And the fact that this is somehow working in third person, over the shoulder, fast, frenetic gameplay is something that should be applauded and belongs in the Hall of Fame, quite frankly. The way that this game also melds in a story of grief, of pain, a story of trying to sift through your trauma, as this astronaut Celine has gone through, is also something that I don't think a lot of people talk about, that I think is really great. That this game could have just been a boss rush type of thing. We're going through levels. It definitely could have just been that, right? And I think people would have been satisfied with that. But to have an underlining story that's as cryptic, as weird, the way that Atrobos from Biome to Biome feels so different and has a deeper meaning to it from Celine's standpoint, from a more mental standpoint, and just looking at this gameplay out front. Like, by the way, this is me, by the way, out here killing it out here, clearly. Come on, man. You know what
2 minutes left.
10 minutes?
2.
2 minutes. Damn. Okay.
And 10 seconds. Keep going.
But yeah, this is 100% one of, if not my favorite PlayStation 5 game so far, as of to date. There's a lot of reasons why, but at its core, the gameplay is fast, frenetic. It's beautiful to look at. It's colorful. It's punchy, and what I love about this game above all else is that it doubles down on, yes, being a game, but it feels like an experience. Every time you boot this game, I'm not capping with that, because there is no like traditional like main menu, really. It's a very limited pause menu that you essentially get, and that's pretty much the crux of it. You boot up this game and you're on Atropos and you're doing this. You are in it from the jump. And you're in this cycle. And of course, with the extra DLC that they added this year, with the co-op mode, with the Tower of Sisyphus as well, to bring that more arcade mode back to Returnal, it's phenomenal. The way this game allows it so as you progress, you're able to become more and more powerful in ways that are not just like, hey, you get a more powerful weapon, right? Or oh, hey, like this upgrade, right? It's tools that you can use that make it feel a little bit like a Metroidvania in that way, where you look at biomes differently as you progress and as you get tools, and you go back and you're like, oh, okay, I can run on this lava now, or oh, hey, I can use my grapple hook to go up to this spot, and you're able to completely just get a different perspective on a given biome as you continue on, all while having to evade all these different projectiles, all these shots, and you're figuring out. And also, last thing I think I'll say mostly is that you're also able to have the choice, and they pose choices to you on the fly, where you really gotta sit and think, okay, like, is this gonna be smart to pick up this weapon right now, or should I stick with this one? What about this? What about this parasite? Is this going, is this parasite's negatives going to cancel out with its pros that it'll give me? You're making a lot of decisions on the fly, and this game's fast, frenetic, it's beautiful. Dual sense features. I mean, with the haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, like, this game is incredible. And the only thing I would have loved was to have this day one on PS5 and have them come out again with, because 100% this would have been my favorite day one PS5 game. So I believe Arcade is not dead, and Returnal deserves to be on the Hall of Game. That is all. Sorry, I should have said that.
No, you naturally ended it. It was good. It was
Yeah.
clap. That was a great presentation.
Good job, Kevin.
Excellent choice.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I hate roguelikes. Is this game something I can enjoy?
This
Yes.
dude like these. Don't listen to him.
I do. Yeah. Wait, you like Hades, fam? Stop it. If you like Hades, you will. There's no excuse. God honest truth, there's no excuse whatsoever. If you can adore Hades and get through that game, you can get through this. 100%.
I could say a very similar thing about you with a different game, but let me reposition the question. Hades is the only roguelike that's appealed to me because of the way it presents progression with the systems of a roguelike.
Indeed.
The genre to me, in other attempts I've had, like Dead Cells, and a couple other ones that have popped up over the last few years, like, they haven't clicked with me because I don't enjoy the feeling of having my progress reset on a death, and it feels like I wasted time. In Returnal, is there a, like, underlying progression that's going there, like, always? Like, I know you mentioned Metroidvania elements, like, is that at play, like shortcuts, or is there other stuff in Returnal that is persistent even if you die and get reset?
So the most persistent aspect would be the weapon upgrades that you are getting. The more you use a specific weapon, the more attributes that unlock for that weapon inside the weapon pool. So, like, how I explain this? So there's a weapon called the Hollow Seeker. The Hollow Seeker, right? So that's a LMG. And the attributes that every weapon gets are randomized within the weapon pool. But the more you use a specific weapon, you're able to unlock really cool alternate fire variants that you have the potential to get every time you play the game, or a different shot pattern. So, for example, for like the Hollow Seeker, there's something called horizontal barrages that you can unlock and reach towards. You get aspects where it has like a different type of firing style where it'll be shooting normal, but every like fifth or 10th shot will be a nice wide projectile, so that you're able to get into a nice crowd of enemies and all that. So I'd say that's the main one. But after you beat every biome, you do get a piece of equipment that fundamentally changes the way you did the last biome that you just beat and how you will continue moving forward. So in that way, I do feel like Returnal is one of those games that it doesn't take that long for you to understand, like, oh, okay, like you get a sense of the momentum with this game in terms of where it's going to lead you from a progression standpoint. So
Okay, cool.
that's what I would personally say, yeah.
I haven't played this game, but watching your gameplay, sometimes those like bullets would come at you, and it
Yes,
looks
sir.
like you dodge through the bullets, like you
Yes, you do.
use infinite frames. That's a real thing. Like you just keep like you kind of
Well,
can sprint through them, kind of thing.
yeah, you can dash through some projectiles. It's not
Okay.
all, like, but you can dash through most per projectiles if you're quick enough. But you could also mess that up if you're not careful. But yeah,
Does it tell you like what kind of projectiles? Like, is it like color coded or anything like that?
I
Or
believe it's
like,
color code. Yeah, like I know there's some during bosses that like you definitely can't. But I'd say most you can definitely dash through. There's a few that like are very clear that you can't, but there's a lot that you can definitely dash through for sure.
yeah, your gameplay looked like super fun. To be honest, I really want to play that
Yeah.
game.
That's your side of it too. Like gameplay of it always looks incredible. Any biome, any enemy you're facing, any room, like when you're in that combat, like there's nothing like it. Actually, there is one game that people say it's like it. I forgot what it is.
Next Machina,
No, it was the hell. No, it's a
another
I
third
forgot what
person
the game
game.
is called. Yeah, it's it's not
Is it
Bulletstorm. It's
is it
like something else.
Bloodborne?
No, not
Okay.
that weird obscure indie game. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Not that. You know what I'm saying? Not that. Not that. Anyone else? Has anyone played it?
No.
I only played a bit of it, but it
No,
felt
you
really
played
good.
it. All right, okay,
Yeah.
so it's not getting inducted. That's fine.
It's
But
it's the game that's driving me to get the whatever the PS Plus Ultimate.
yes,
is.
sir, it is on premium and extra. Actually, no, it's on extra. It's on that middle tier. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have no questions for Kevin. I'm pretty
fine.
convinced by what he said. I
You
like the
think-
gameplay. Like the gameplay
Appreciate
aspect of the presentation.
Appreciate it.
I have a question
Appreciate
actually.
Yes, sir.
I want to say that I was pretty mesmerized by the gameplay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Love
As you
that.
should.
It looks pretty sick. Can you just like expand a little bit more, I guess, on just like why you think it's important that this game has like that emotional aspect that you're talking about, like with the character and everything? Because I think you made a really interesting point. Like a lot of the times, these games like don't really have a story. Like I don't know, I'm thinking of like Risk of Rain or something like that, where
God,
it's just
that
like
was
if
it.
it
I think that's what the game was. Maybe.
Risk of Rain.
I
Yeah,
could
it
see
does.
that.
It does kind of look like Risk of Rain in some ways, but like it seems like a mix between Risk of Rain and like Metroid Dread or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So like the story is told actually through gameplay that I did not show, but it's where how do I explain this without like because I don't want to like go in too deep into the story because like it's very easy to just like spoil the shit out of it, which is I'm trying
Yeah.
not to copy you guys out, but
No, I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you should like talk about any of the specifics of the story, but I guess just like I don't know. Like, do you have anything more to say just about like why it's important this game has like that emotional aspect?
right. I just think that it didn't need to, right? And I think that it could have easily just been like a boss rush, like, oh, okay, this is what it is, like, or some like very like, you know, paper thin plot of like, oh, it could have just been like, hey, Celine is an astronaut and she's trapped on this planet and she's trying to, you know, reach a beacon, right? Like that's it. And like there's a part of the game where that is the main point in a way, but it blows up even more and it becomes a lot more than just that in the second half. And so I just feel like from just a development standpoint that like, you know, them not having any deep narrative stories like in their original games that they could have easily just literally done like third person arcade game, boom, bow, that's it. Like have fun, you know. But
Yeah.
the fact that they were willing to go out on a limb and try to tell a narrative about this astronaut Celine who's trapped in a cycle on a planet, right? And like give more context to that and like what that actually means from the perspective of, you know, her right now versus the trauma that kind of birthed this whole thing. And yeah, and it does another thing as well with its lore and overall like premise that I love when first party does this, where they have a specific like reasoning for in world of why like things are here, like co-op, right? And co-op is where you play with another version of Celine that's also going through this loop. You know, so like
Interesting.
that's the like in-world reasoning, and I love when there's an in-world reason for that that's connected to the lore and story of it. But ultimately, it's like I just think that they didn't have to do this. Like they didn't have to have this story, and I definitely appreciate it for that, for sure.
Like it elevates it in a way. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It just makes it like more than literally just third person game that we used to make, but like this is what it is. Like it just makes it more than just score chasing.
Thanks.
Indeed.
Did you do you think like it would have been better if it was like the standard Housemarque top down perspective or anything like that, or like more clear?
I think it would have been better.
Or like I don't know,
no.
because the bullets seem hard to dodge sometimes, but I guess it's pretty fun like that.
Yeah,
I like Nex Machina. I just am kind of a stan.
Yeah. No, and
Yeah.
and I definitely like their older games that's more top down arcade style, right? But I just don't know if it would have been necessarily better if it was just an arcade thing, right? Like I do think that if you did take Returnal and just put a top down perspective and just call it a day, I don't think people would have really given it the attention that I think it deserves personally. Like I don't think that the intricacies of like the shooting mechanics would really feel that different from one another, right? If it was just on just a 2D arcade plane. And ultimately, yeah, like I think people would have overlooked it, just been like, oh, this is just another Housemarque arcade game, right? And then the arcade would have literally been dead, So I just ultimately like the thesis as to why I believe this should be on Holly Game is that we just saw a studio reinvent what they make, but still retain what they were known for. You know what I'm saying? In like we've seen devs go and change genres. I cited Guerrilla, right? But you don't feel Killzone in Horizon, right? You maybe see some visual like cues that maybe look similar. You see some of the lens flares that look very similar, right? But overall, like there's next to no DNA from Killzone in Horizon. But here you can feel that like they were like, you know what? No, like arcade's not dead. We just gotta think about it differently, and that's Returnal.
Can I share one thing, if I may?
Absolutely.
I beta tested that battle royale they did.
How was it?
It was bad.
Indeed.
But
Indeed.
yeah,
I bet some of the assets from that made it into Returnal for sure, though.
yeah, totally.
For sure. I bet there's some like environmental assets or like something like that. Maybe the weapons themselves. Yeah.
Oh, can I share something cool about Returnal?
Indeed. Yes. Sir.
One of my friends, Lou Barnes, does audio design for games, and he worked on Returnal, and he did like the teleport. He did a bunch of noises for it, but he did the teleporter noise.
Yeah.
that's him.
Bro, that joint goes hard.
Yeah, he's really good at what he does.
Yeah,
So
No,
that game has
that's
great
really
noises.
cool.
they won
That's hype.
awards for a bunch of stuff. I know.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
like BAFTAs or something. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome.
Very quick yes or no. Is this game too hard?
Too hard. No, I want to say no.
Okay.
But no, I would say no because by like the first night I definitely got my teeth kicked in, right? But we'll say that was only like 3-4 hours of gameplay, right? But I think the second night is when I started to get my bearings and really get the ground under me and really start going. You know what I'm saying? So I personally don't think it's impossible. Like I wouldn't put it in that tier. It's tough. Definitely, it's tough, but I don't think it's crazy.
All right. Nice. Any other questions for Kevin? All right. Good job. Great presentation.
Of course.
I have spun the wheel. I am next. I have a video. I'll send it in the chat. We can synchronize, start it. I got it pulled up on the OBS. scene
This dude
as
brought a
well.
video.
Yeah. Let's see here. So I sent it in there. Do your best to not look at the timeline.
I did see that 6 minutes, Christian.
Yeah, okay. The 6 minute thing is
thought-
fine. That's fine.
I thought we had a 5-minute limit.
No, it was 6. I've said it was 6. I've given everybody
Oh,
3
really?
warnings. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I think
6
we
is such a
changed it to
funny
6
number.
after the first time because people wanted more time.
All
No
right.
Q&A limit. That's a 20-minute affair.
Okay. I think so.
I'm just setting this scene up. Currently, where's my thing? Video games. Hold up. Okay. Is everybody ready to hit play?
Yes.
All right. So I'll do a 3, 2, 1, and then play when I would say 0 or go. Okay.
Indeed.
In 3, 2, 1. Video games. Innovation. The Hall of Game. Recognizing innovation. Today I want to talk to you about a game that created a genre. A game so well thought out, designed, and balanced that the idea it needs to be argued is baffling to me. However, much like the philosophy of this game's world, everything worth doing in life is a challenge that needs to be overcome. A mountain that must be climbed. So here we are. I'm here to talk to you about a game that celebrates its players. Players that lift each other up, that leave helpful assists for your journey throughout your playthrough. A game where everyone wants to help you climb the mountain, where you're inclined to help others because at the top you realize how useful those nameless helping hands were to you. A strand game, if you will. I'm here to talk about Dark Souls. Remastered, specifically. Dark Souls is a world lived in. Much like the original Star Wars trilogy, there are rules, history, and relationships that exist in this world without explanation. The cluelessness of Souls games, in my opinion, is overblown. You are the chosen undead, a soul cast to the whims of fate that must rekindle or extinguish the first flame. As you take your first steps in the world, you meet a man, Oscar. He is a knight who has set out to fulfill the role of chosen undead. However, he fails early in his journey, or at least early relative to your perception of it. In his final moments, he uses his last will and strength to assist you, a rotting corpse who will likely meet a similar fate simply so he doesn't die in vain. A spark of hope begins your journey, and this warmth is encompassing of Dark Souls. Or you could just kill him. Dark Souls is a world spilling over with player choice and emergent narrative. One of the current Hall of Game goats, Skyrim, is an unrivaled game in terms of interactivity, being able to pick up every item, use them to help you steal, among other things. Now imagine if you could have that amount of influence over a narrative, or NPCs. In Dark Souls, a game from 2011, you can. Every NPC can be killed, several can be ignored. Killing some NPCs early can cut you off of side quests, save lives, or wall you off from progression with others. It's a world that feels more alive and dynamic than games releasing to this day. For instance, Knight Lautrec is an NPC I found imprisoned early in my playthrough. I freed him on the promise he would reward my deed later on. He did, but thanks to me freeing him, he was also able to complete his mission of murdering the Firekeeper, an ally to the player who allows the location of Firelink Shrine to be a safe space where you can find relief and become your most powerful upon arrest. By pursuing Lautrec, I was able to save my Firekeeper and allow our relationship to foster to the point where I could double my power every time I went to Firelink. In playthrough 2, killed Lautrec. It was on site, no questions. But I wasn't given the opportunity to save and thus prove myself to my Firekeeper. We maintained our acquaintance status, and when I faced down late game bosses with 20 heals before, now I only had 10. This is just one example of an entirely missable moment of narrative that illuminates the world of Dark Souls, rewarding player exploration of this complex web of narrative threads. Here you may find yourself overwhelmed, thinking, I love narrative and I love crying, but if those moments are missable, what else is? This feeling is all-encompassing, mimicking the idea of your car dying in the middle of a snowstorm. Funny enough, this is actually an experience endured by From Software superstar and director of Dark Souls, Hidetaka Miyazaki. Quote, the origin of that idea is actually due to a personal experience where our car suddenly stopped on a hillside after some heavy snow. The car following me got stuck, and then the one behind it bumped into it and started pushing it up the hill. That's it. That's how everyone can get home. On the way back home, I wondered whether the last person in line had made it home, and thought that I'd probably never meet the people who had helped me. Maybe if we met in another place, we'd become friends, or maybe we'd just fight. This one aspect of Dark Souls gets lost in the vocal toxic sects of the fandom that I know are present, but trust me, they're smaller than they seem. The notes left behind in the world of Lordran exist to help you find your way, whether it be uncovering a hidden shortcut, lighting your path through a dark tunnel, or cluing you in on who might be a rat waiting to backstab you. This sense of community extends to online spaces where people can discuss their journeys, secrets they found on their own or stumbled into. It's a unique aspect of this game that for a long time was lost in an industry so focused on making everything straight to the point and cinematic. This is one of my favorite things about games, a habit born in me by another Hall of Game GOAT, Pokemon Red and Blue. Having played Dark Souls for the first time this year, the community is still incredibly active and helpful to a perspective chosen undead. The simple notion sparked by Oscar struck a chord with players, as his hope lives on through everyone who makes a guide, leaves a note, or pops into a stream to encourage a new player setting out to save Lordran. Not only has the Souls style of combat and design inspired games such as, but not limited to, the RPG Assassin's Creed, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, God of War, Neo, and a host of others, it was also the original Strand game, a socially impacted single-player experience where a player in their own world can leave behind something useful for you when you set out on your journey. Kojima. Where are the receipts? Seeing where RPGs have grown across the PS4 and Xbox One generation, I don't think it's ridiculous to say that Dark Souls is the most influential game to release in the last 15 years. Strictly talking game language, I know all of us are used to attacking with R1 and locking on with the right stick at this point. In addition to the innovation and narrative of Dark Souls, I wouldn't feel right wrapping up this presentation without briefly mentioning some great elements of the game. The music is incredible, with comforting tones of safety, triumphant moments of glory, or epic chants decorating a battle that you did not anticipate the extent of. I personally love the combat and the flexibility of choice, whether you want to play a pyromancer, a ranged character, or a melee build. The challenge is just hard enough that it gives you a high unlike anything else when you finally overcome an obstacle. The game is available on PS3, PS4 and 5, Xbox 360, One, the Series consoles, Nintendo Switch, and PC, and I cannot recommend it enough.
Hell fucking yeah. Great presentation, Christian.
That was awesome.
Thank you. All right.
Amazing video.
Thank you. I am just realigning our setup, but questions whenever you got them.
Now, this is the first Dark Souls, like first in the series. Remind me, what's the one that Omar brought?
Omar brought Dark Souls as well.
Okay, I was a little confused.
Yes.
Christian's brought Dark Souls
You're just bringing
Remastered.
it again.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's
You
allowed.
can do that.
That's allowed. You
No, I
can't
know.
bring something
Keep
you
bringing
bought
it
in the
again.
past, but if...
No, I'm not doubting
Yeah,
that.
yeah, okay.
So why bring the game again? I guess is my question.
Because I think, like, Elden Ring just came out at the time. There was a lot of conversation about, like, what is the best From Software game. And while I feel like there's been a lot of hyperbole with Elden Ring, I think having beaten Dark Souls myself and Platinum did leading up to Elden Ring, time, like, it was very fresh when Omar brought it before for me. But since then, I did a second playthrough, I Platinum did, and I have grown a lot fonder of the original Dark Souls than I was back then, to the point where I feel confident in bringing this, and yeah.
Quick follow-up. Are there, like, noticeable differences between... Obviously there are, but between, like... You brought Remastered.
Yes.
I think Omar just brought Dark Souls. Like, are there any... Maybe I'm wrong. Are there any noticeable, like, differences? Like, why bring the Remastered version?
So Remastered's the one I played. And per Hall rules, if a game gets in, it's like every version of the game. But specifically Remastered, I think, fixes some issues. I pulled some features from the feature trailer in there that it has a upgraded resolution and frame rate. It has the DLC included in this package. It's the most accessible, approachable version of the game. And like, it just generally looks better. It runs better. 4K 60 is available. And yeah, there was a notable part of Dark Souls that I never experienced that was like awful rate wise. It would like dip to like probably 18. Rock solid 60 in this game. So plus the DLC I think is like incredible, and that's included in this.
Yeah, can I add like that DLC is tremendous, and probably like the path From Software took forward was influenced by that.
Yeah.
I think. And I didn't. The thing I brought didn't have the DLC, so I fucked up.
I don't know. I wish you picked the first game. I'm being real, but you know it's cool. It's cool.
This is the first game.
This is
No,
the first
no.
one.
I mean, no. I mean the cop
Demon
out.
Souls?
The real Strand game. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I
You
did
know what
that
I'm-
specifically to fake you
know what
out. I'm glad it
saying?
worked.
See,
Piece of shit.
this
I
game
knew
actually
it.
has a good
I know it's for
story.
me. I know it's for me. I know it's for me. I know it's for me. What is one aspect of Dark Souls that you feel that my good friend Omar did not denounce in his pitching of this game that makes yours different?
Sure. I think. First off, I do think
Hold
Omar-
on. Let me fuck this. What did I do wrong last time? Fuck you, Kevin.
No,
I think last time
no,
I
no,
was
no, no, no.
games that were
Omar.
too good.
Omar, I'm on your side, Omar.
Okay.
Omar. I'm pretty sure I voted for Dark. Maybe
You weren't here for that.
I wasn't. You
I
know
wish
what?
you were here.
I voted for In Spirit, Omar. I got you.
Okay, you really? Because I didn't think you would.
Kevin's
I'm sure if I heard your pitch, I would definitely went for it, bro.
So
My pitch. May I just expand on this for a moment, Christian? Because I want you to get back to your presentation.
Thank you.
My pitch, Kevin, was me down on my ass, sitting here telling everyone how, quite frankly, Dark Souls is my Final Fantasy VII remake, Kevin. I played that game this year, and it changed my life. Christian, you can speak to that too, right? It did.
yeah,
Did it change your
I
life?
win.
Christian?
yeah.
Well, it changed mine at least. I think it changed. Maybe it changed Christian's too. But like,
I was changed by Bloodborne a while ago. This is just like an extra like hit of like, oh yeah, it's Kevin. Imagine if like you got the like the next Final Fantasy VII project that was announced today, right? Like when I finally played Dark Souls after Bloodborne and Sekiro, I was like, oh, it's more than good stuff. Yes, so
yeah, like I played Dark Souls 2 right after I played Dark Souls 1, Kevin, and Dark Souls 2 is basically the crisis core of the franchise. Like, people miss it because it sucks.
Now you're speaking my language.
I'm sorry. I should have said Dirge Cerberus. My bad.
Speak these dirty words.
Yeah.
Speak these dirty words. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
so.
I see.
I do think Omar gave a good presentation the first time, but an aspect I wanted to do going into this was talk about the community aspect, because I remember the first time one of the questions I believe Jack threw at Omar was about like Souls fans have a reputation and like there is very vitriolic elements online, like encountering fans of From Software in the Soul series. But in my experience, at least, I've like obviously I've seen that stuff online. Like you will see that, but I think something that goes unspoken and something that Omar didn't touch on much, but I know he experienced, was that the From Software community is like one of the warmest, embracing, open groups in the gaming sphere that I've experienced online, because everybody is usually very like invested with the game. If they like it, they are fully in, and they want other people to be able to at least try or have that experience the best way possible for them. And experts.
No, I'm playing.
Shut the hell up! No, you. This is a you thing.
You. No, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're good.
I want you to experience a great game.
No. Go ahead. You want me to? I would like to wait for 60 frames, sir.
Yeah, this game's in Dark Souls is in 60 frames.
Dark Souls 60 frames? Okay,
Yes.
never mind. Okay.
Did you pay attention to my presentation? It was written right there. In,
I did
in
not
literal
read it.
black and
Right
white.
here.
It was right there.
No,
Christian,
I saw it.
we need him to give it 3 points. Don't get too mad at him.
Yeah.
No, well,
and
no.
Christian has been on multiple streams, on multiple podcasts, bullying me about this. So go ahead.
That was about Bloodborne, but anyway.
Please tell me how the community is so nice. Please go ahead.
It also friends rib their friends all the time. Friends are assholes to their friends. If there was a random stranger whose stream I popped into, I would not be saying, "Hey, stream Dark Souls." if they were streaming Dark Souls, I'd be in there watching,
Interesting.
appreciating what they're doing.
Interesting.
If they needed help, I would be like, hey, there's this person might want to talk to this direction. Maybe go there, because there's just a wealth of knowledge and resources from lore masters or people who are into PvP or people who are really set on like specking out different builds for different play styles that is still active. Like, this is an old game and there's still a vocal huge community dedicated to helping new people experience this game. And it's kind of like Star Wars, where it's like you look at it and it's like, yeah, there's a lot of shitty people, but it's also so large in 2022 that if you find the right place to look, it is truly like one of the most embracing gaming communities that I've been a part of. Like, I think it's a better, stronger community than Destiny, than like plenty of other games, like even single player games that like don't have a multiplayer aspect. I think it's like very, very welcoming. There's obviously going to be trolls and shitty people, but like cooperation is a huge key factor of all these games. That's why I had the quote in there too. Like, that's the angle I wanted to approach for this attempt to get Dark Souls in.
I have a question.
Sure.
Obviously, I think that like the Souls games and the types of games that like FromSoft made after Dark Souls 1, I think in many ways those have improved probably on this game. Why choose this game instead of like one of the newer ones? Is it really just that that novelty factor, like how this defined, yeah, I don't know, like just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm trying to.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, I do think with Dark Souls, it is like, this was their second attempt at this type of game. Like, Demon Souls was first, and PlayStation hated it. They're like, why did you make this game? Do not do this again. And then Bandai Namco came in and we're like, hey, we'll help you make another one. And then Dark Souls came out of it, and then more people found this one and played this one. Like, Demon Souls is a rough attempt at this idea, and Dark Souls is the one that like perfected that. And I haven't played Dark Souls 2. I really have no interest to. I haven't played Dark Souls 3, but I have played other games that have come after those, with Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. Bloodborne, I think, is also an incredible, like 10 out of 10 Hall of Game worthy game, but for different reasons. Like, I think Bloodborne is one of the most impressive worlds and histories I've seen fleshed out in a game. Boss design, I think, is incredible. Like, only a handful of the Dark Souls bosses, I think, are incredible. Bloodborne has a lot more. Sekiro, I think, has my favorite combat out of a From Software game. And in terms of, like, Elden Ring, I think Elden Ring has everything that's great about Dark Souls, but I did see that. Elden Ring, I think, implementing an open world just like spreads out the moments and strengths that they have in Dark Souls. Like, Dark Souls is super linear compared to Elden Ring, but it's still like interconnected, tons of shortcuts and things like that. So I think it's a tighter experience than their future attempts of the Dark Souls style, where I think like Bloodborne and Sekiro are kind of their own thing.
Can I ask a question, Christian?
Yes.
Why? Okay, I was on Twitter this week and I saw Kevin and Jack keep talking about how much they love this Sifu game. Isn't that game fucking hard? What's the deal with that?
I haven't played Sifu. I can't answer that.
Okay.
Sifu is indeed hard.
Seafood's seafood.
Seafood is
hard. I hate seafood.
You ever try and bite into a clamshell? Not good.
Wow. It's a Dark Souls of food.
Seafood's tough, but I still wouldn't call it like impossible either.
Wow. Sounds like Dark Souls to me.
It's still pretty tough though.
Okay.
Definitely tough. Definitely like very tough.
So if you're bringing up a question of difficulty, I
am.
I would say out of all the From Software games I've played, I think this is the most digestible, the most straightforward, and the most approachable. Elden Ring, I think, is the most accommodating, but in terms of getting your head around the systems in this game, like once you understand it, once you finally beat the first real boss, which are the gargoyles, like if you do that, you can beat the entire game, and that's like within the first 4 hours, maybe 5. Like I captured footage for this. I started a new save and I got to them in like an hour, but for a beginner, it's like you're pretty directed of where you should be going, and I think with that in mind, Dark Souls is challenging for sure, but not impossible. Any other questions?
I don't want to take from your presentation. I just want, you saw me get into that game.
Yeah.
That was the one. Like, very easy to wrap my head around. And I think if we can mention the community stuff, like, if I was streaming that game on Twitch and everyone was so nice in there, like, really just got me through it. I didn't have to look at one guide on the internet.
Any other questions, or are we content?
This is the first game that's being brought back, I believe.
Yeah, this is the first one. So
No, it's not really. It's remastered.
sure, if it's
It's a new game. It's not the same game, Jack.
No.
You look
Armored
at
edition.
You look at those. You look at those main characters right beside themselves. There's a clear difference. The wheel is spinning once more, and between Jack and Omar, the next presentation goes to, by a hair, Jack Martin.
Wow. All right, I'm going to attempt to share my screen. I would ask people to avert their eyes briefly. Just a new tab. Okay. All right. Does everyone see this?
I haven't clicked in yet. Is it good to?
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
everyone can join in and let me know if that looks good.
I do see indeed a PowerPoint.
See it.
Okay.
Yes, Jack. I
Christian,
appreciate
do you want me to?
the through line of these title cards whenever you come here.
Yeah, it's called copy and paste. Copy and paste. Do you want me to wait for you to organize, or you're all set?
I think everything looks good on my end. I will set a timer for you. Do you want a 3-minute warning and a 1-minute warning?
Yes, please.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, I will start.
All right, I'm going to begin. Again, not even going to do a prelude. I would like to talk about an instant classic in Metal Gear Solid. I think this is a game that changed the game. Came out, showed everyone the potential of gaming as a medium. Wasn't just a really fun game. Kind of proved, at the time, this was 1998, PlayStation 1, that games can use storytelling, but also gameplay techniques to craft narratives that aren't possible elsewhere, be it books, movies, whatever. I think the story and gameplay have sort of a symbiotic relationship, and one kind of heightens the other. My example here is the codec. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like a radio system for games, for people that haven't played the game. It conveys story in a lot of ways. There are like cutscenes and things like that, but a lot of the game is you talking to people on this radio, and you see their face kind of move up and down a little bit. But you can also, at various points throughout the game, access the codec at your own time and just sort of talk with people and maybe ask for advice here and there. And then at points, you'll randomly call someone, and you get like a lot of story perspective from them that you weren't expecting. And I feel like that this was one of the first games to sort of do that, and I really enjoy it. Again, it has sort of a different approach to storytelling. Has a very complex and probably too complex story, which continues in the series. Hideo Kojima is a big movie fan, and he uses a lot of cinematic techniques to tell the story. There's like camera cuts. There's even live action footage talking about nukes earlier in this presentation. There's a lot of nukes in this game. They're cutting to a lot of footage of 1990s nuclear technology. And there's just a bunch of twists and turns throughout. And I think the best part about this is it's really great balance of being overly serious at points, but also really goofy at points. Like, again, the game leaves off with like saying something along the lines of the world has X amount of nukes still active. Like, we need to adopt a policy of like nuclear deterrence. But then there's points where some dude is peeing himself in a locker and he's talking about being an anime fan. Like there's just waves of these types of things. It's really funny. I think it's really creative. Like in terms of its gameplay, there are instances where you just encounter like really creative things. For example, you could fake your own death to escape a jail cell, or probably the best of them all, plugging in your controller, remember like PS1 generation, into like the player 2 slot to get it to work because it wasn't working before. There's just so many creative moments like that that feel really cool. Overall, it can feel maybe archaic because it was from the PlayStation 1 and that doesn't age very well. But we all played it for the Long Play Club, or most of us played it for the Long Play Club very recently, within the past year or so. And it was still fun to get through, even though there are points where it doesn't feel that great. Like if you're trying to snipe first person in this game, it's not great. But for the majority, I think it's still really fun to
3-minute
play
warning.
through. Thank you. I also think this has some of the best boss battles kind of ever. And I definitely think it has the most memorable lineup of bosses. I feel like anyone who plays through this will remember the bosses by the time they come out of it. Each character has their own background and are very memorable because of some great dialogue. And that's a mix of like really well written dialogue, but also really cheesy dialogue, which I think, again, it's that sort of fun balance that this game has. There's also really cool mechanics. Like I mentioned, we'll talk about Psycho Mantis in a bit, but kind of like that. And again, going back to the codec, every time I encounter a boss in this, I'll pull out the codec, call everyone in the codec to offer advice, or they'll also offer background about the character and like where they're from, like all the intel they have on this person. But they'll also give you tips like, hey, maybe use your flash grenades or something like that. Psycho Mantis is definitely one of the greatest of all time in terms of bosses. If you don't know, like he will read your memory card of the PS1. So if you had data from games like Castlevania, the game will trigger a dialogue portion where he'll say, oh, you like Castlevania. Oh, you like these types of games. You like RPGs. It's really cool. And like, it seems like a gimmick, but it's still really cool. The fact that they were able to do that in 1998 makes your controller vibrate. And he's like, I'm going to make your controller float. It's really cool. And I think this game really put Kojima on the map. He was making games before, obviously. There were Metal Gear games before Metal Gear Solid. But I think his design philosophy was particularly started here. Also good and bad. There's some bad parts about his games that do not hold up well, particularly like depiction of women and things like that.
1 minute.
But I think for the most part, he has a really solid philosophy that continued to this day. Final thoughts here. I think it's the definition of a legendary video game. Despite aging 24 years, it's still very highly enjoyable and retains a very passionate fan base. It needs to come back, this series. Again, it's one of those series that everyone has a different favorite. Myself included, Metal Gear Solid is not my favorite in the series, but I think it's undeniably the most iconic. So that's why I chose it, and that's why I think it belongs in the hall. And that's it.
Hell yeah, Jack. I'm clapping. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Indeed. I got like 20 seconds left over. Do you need any of that time?
No. Cardboard box. That's all I'll say.
Nice.
Sneaking in cardboard box.
I have a question. What does Metal Gear Solid mean?
Like, do you want my metaphorical answer?
I don't know. I've never played it. What's the title mean? Like, what is that?
That's a
word
great
string?
question. I asked my girlfriend when we were playing the Long Play Club, like, what do you think this game is about? And she said, I think it's about volcanoes. So that's my answer. Cool. No, I really don't know. It's so the Metal Gear. The reason it's called Metal Gear, is because the like big nuclear, not nuclear. I'm not George Bush. The big nuclear walking battle tank is called a Metal Gear. I don't know why, but that's what it's called. And you basically have to go in. The premise of this game is you have to go into the archipelago of Shadow Moses Island off the coast of Alaska, and you have to destroy this Metal Gear that these terrorists have acquired and are using it as a ransom. So that's the premise of the game, and that's why it's called Metal Gear. Why is it called Solid? I don't know. Maybe because of the graphics.
I have one more question to add on real quick. Why did you pick this one and not Metal Gear Solid 3?
First of all, as we all found out, Metal Gear Solid 3, not that great. Very silly. I actually really like in terms of like not picking this one over the others, Metal Gear Solid 5 is my favorite, and Metal Gear Solid 2 is a very close second. But I think this is definitely the most iconic in terms of everyone can agree that Metal Gear Solid 1 is fantastic of the fan base. There are some like differing opinions in terms of certain games. Like we all didn't like 3, but a lot of people really love 3. Everyone has a favorite, like I said, but I think this is the one that kind of started it all. And there's always stories like Greg Miller from Kind of Funny is like, wow, this is the game that sort of made my interest in gaming, like piqued his interest in gaming again at a time where games kind of maybe weren't stagnant, but like nothing was really like this at the time. I feel like this is kind of like the Star Wars of gaming. Like this kind of came out. I was like, wow, this is pretty different.
If video games and technology are so tied together that, like as time goes on, a remake of a game is just gonna automatically, definitively be the better version of that game, why the original over something like Twin Snakes?
Yeah, Twin Snakes, for those that don't know, is like the GameCube, I think, remaster or remake or whatever you want to call it. I never played it, so I can't really speak to it, but I know they completely changed all the dialogue in it, so the reads are different. I think it might look visually better, but I think it loses kind of all of its quirkiness and pretty much everything that's good about that game. A lot of the dialogue, like I didn't get into it, but like David Hayter's incredible as Snake. The voice acting varies between, like I said, like very serious and like extremely goofy in the villain of Liquid. So highs and lows, and I think you kind of missed that probably in the remake.
So Jack,
No, you
what
don't.
were
Yeah,
you
Mike.
gonna say, Omar?
Well, I'll just say, 'cause I think they changed the voice actor of Liquid in the remake, or I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So you picked Metal Gear Solid, Kojima, but you didn't pick Death Stranding. What's up with that?
No, I've never played Death Stranding, believe it or not.
I
That's one of
haven't
the
either.
that's another game I want to check out on the PlayStation Plus service.
Yes,
I haven't
sir.
gotten around.
Yes, sir. Speak
But,
on it. Speak on it. Extra tier.
Yeah, haven't played it
$15
yet, but I'm sure it's great.
That was my question.
You brought up the convolutedness. Do you think that in this first game, it's a problem or like manageable because it's the first one and it's just you take what you get, or do you think that this is something that's off-putting to people?
I don't know. It really depends on the like. I found it to be convoluted, but at the same time, like when we replayed it, at the same time, it's a lot less convoluted than some of the future games. I think Metal Gear Solid 3 is very easy to understand and pretty straightforward, but Metal Gear Solid 2 is like, wow, I probably need to play this a couple times to really like understand what we're trying to do here. Even though that game's fantastic. I just think the style of storytelling in some of the Metal Gear games is sometimes over the top and sometimes very exposition heavy, which could detract from the experience. But at the same time, like there's sort of like some a nice like mustache twirly aspect to the way that like the villain describes the dialogue or describes the plot and like his plan or whatever. It can be a lot sometimes, but that's all part of the Metal Gear experience, and that's why everyone's on board for it because it's just kind of ridiculous.
What would you say to somebody who hates how it controls and thinks the final boss fight is bad and doesn't like that it ends on a Jeep and
You're referring to me, aren't you?
maybe other people on the panel,
Yeah.
maybe me, maybe
Kevin
knows?
and I remember not
Indeed.
enjoying the final fight on Metal Gear. That's back to my point where like it can feel archaic at points, and like I know you and Omar liked it, so I guess it really depends on the person. So I feel like there are points where you want to have more control over your character because it at points it's like, oh, I feel like I'm just playing like a modern third person action game, but then you're reminded that it's a PlayStation 1 game. and you don't have as much control of the character. It can be a little clunky at points. But
I think-
that's the nature of an old game.
I also remember you played it on normal, and so I think I played it on easy personally to try and alleviate some of those issues. But yeah, no, I get you. It's definitely tricky.
Also, one thing I didn't say, iconic sounds. You're scrolling through your items and stuff, and
So
you're
good.
beating up people. Great soundtrack. Like, music and just otherwise.
Any
all I
other
got.
questions for Jack?
I'm good. It's so good. The game's great. You did a great job, Jack.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's really hard to slip up an MGS pick, especially like with the first one, and like in spite of, I had very colorful things to say about the first game when we first played it. I was not a fan of it, right? But then, there was just something about seeing how Metal Gear progressed. I like almost like in a very like truncated way, like fonded for that, that enclosed solo mission, like, doing the thing with Solid Snake. But I think the one, I mean, I feel like this is probably like an obvious question, right? But do you think, looking at Metal Gear Solid, right? Like, yes, it's iconic in terms of like its tech and everything, right? Obviously, right? But and what it laid the foundation for, right? But like, do you truly feel that Metal Gear Solid is a timeless experience?
Yeah, so much so that I don't necessarily know if I'd want it to be remade, even though I think that'd be cool. Like, I would certainly accept a Metal Gear Solid remake, but there are just so many aspects about the game that would be fundamentally completely different if there was a remake. I feel like timeless in a sense is you could go back to it and it feels like up to date, which I don't think is the case. But I do think it was of a place in time that you can revisit and still appreciate what it was setting out to do in 1998. Like what you said, very influential, and I don't think it's something that could be replicated in that way. Because like it was. I think it was trying to be overly ambitious, and it was restricted by the technology of its time. In terms of like, it was telling a pretty complex story, but also like, the PS1 was not like this big power horse of what I think Kojima was trying to do with that. So, yeah, I think it's quite the chapter of PlayStation's history.
Any other questions, or is that it for Jack? All right. Great job. Good presentation. Good pick. Before we throw it to Omar, maybe just check headphones. I think there might be a little feedback. I don't know if it's mine or somebody, but I'll turn mine down a little bit. But no wheel spin. Omar's the last to go, so I can set you a timer.
Sure.
Do you have any visual aids?
I guess I might.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see. Will this work? I don't know if it'll play the audio or not. Hopefully it does.
Yeah, I had to upload my thing to YouTube because they wanted me to download some like weird plugin for.
Can you hear the audio there or no?
I can't.
Okay. Really?
No, I can't hear audio off that.
I
Okay.
cannot.
Now let me turn off this then, and then let's do this. I can hear it, and that's good enough for me.
Okay.
One second. Oh yeah. Hold on. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. That looks good.
All right.
All right. All right, I brought Fortnite to the Hall of Game today. But to be honest with you, my presentation was going to be me talking about how mad I was about Dark Souls for 4 minutes to fake you guys out. So I'm really not prepped because Christian brought Dark Souls, so I'm fucked up. So we can talk about Fortnite for a bit. He didn't tell me. We didn't collude on that, I swear. So yeah, Fortnite's funny. Do you guys play it? I assume you do. I've been into it recently. I got to level 100 on the battle pass for the first time with the last season. Doctor Strange was the big skin at the end there. I got really into the zero build stuff because I don't really like building. But fundamentally, building's Fortnite though, so maybe I don't even like this game. It came out in 2017 as a builder thing, right? And then it was a PvE thing, but then at some point in September, they decided to make it a battle royale because PUBG was really big and no one was buying Fortnite. And so that's kind of a cool underdog story. For a while, no one thought it was a real game because Epic announced it at some game awards, and then it disappeared for like 5 years, and that's cool. But it's actually, sometimes I play the game and I think, man, this is pretty vain and stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. My friends like it, and I have fun with it. I like my friends. So maybe I don't even like Fortnite, and I think that's probably it for my presentation. Don't vote for Fortnite. This emote's hard though, right? It's pretty cool. 500 V-Bucks. Yeah.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
Any questions? Kevin in the back.
Of course, we have, Super Smash Bros. Right?
Yeah.
As one could call one of the greatest, if not the greatest amalgamation of video game IP, right?
Mm-hmm.
But are you with me in the opinion that I think that you could really make a point for Fortnite being the center of the incoming metaverse, the true king of amalgamation of not only video game IP but IP in general, right? Like to have the whole and it's still going,
Kevin,
Like,
yeah.
Go ahead, please.
No, not to interrupt, but no, fuck yeah. Like, I'll sometimes be playing Fortnite and be taken aback because I just saw, like, Batman kill Wolverine, or, like, I saw Master Chief kill God of War. Like, it's bananas to me. Like,
You can say anything, right? Like,
Yeah.
X person killed X person, and it's likely in Fortnite.
right, I don't know
You know?
how they cleared that stuff because that was not possible before, I feel like. It's bananas. And
Also, Epic
yeah.
Games has to have the best lawyers in the business because they're able to manage all these rights, all these IP. Like, come on now.
They're able to steal Fortnite dances and get
of
away
course,
with it.
The best dance and emote, the Tootsie slide, of course.
The Tuesday slide. Did you buy it this week, Kevin?
I've not bought
Don't
it
tell
yet,
me you
but
didn't.
I have to go buy it.
No, Kevin,
I'm
it's
sorry, I
off
got
now.
busy.
You missed it.
No.
Bro, I told you.
No.
I fucking told you,
didn't
bro.
tell me. You didn't tell me. It's not on the store.
Dude, you missed it. I'm sorry.
Right foot
Please don't
up,
vote for Fortnite,
left
guys.
foot
I don't know what to say.
slide, left foot.
Any more questions? This game
no.
sucks.
I genuinely am not capping. I think that this is a great game.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
It was.
It's
it
not
was
better than Metal
definitely
Gear
gonna happen.
Solid, though. It's not better than. It's not better
but
than Dark Souls.
No,
the more
but
you say
I
don't
mean,
vote for Fortnite, I'm gonna vote for Fortnite even harder.
bro.
It's
I
more
think
influential, probably.
it's the most influential. Bro.
In
You know
the
what I'm
worst
saying?
ways, though. This is probably gonna ruin the world.
But how is it influential if it copied everything that it did from
Right,
PUBG?
it's PUBG is influential, right? Like,
Yeah. And so a question, we do have a battle royale in the Hall of Game right now.
what's up? Oh yeah,
We got Apex. What does Fortnite do better than Apex?
it doesn't. Apex is better. Don't vote for Fortnite.
Okay.
I love how Omar's having a nice silent disco.
Dude, it's great. I wish you could hear the audio. I really do. Hold on, maybe I can. Hold on. Does that come through? All right.
Very vaguely.
Okay. Well, it's hard.
Very vaguely.
We should play Fortnite. You guys can see it sometime.
Yeah.
Nothing's better than killing someone and then doing this on them. Like, really, it's so good.
So it's possible to say that Fortnite might be the ultimate gaming experience.
It
with
is
everything
possible.
that Kevin said. And
But also, Kevin brought up the metaverse, which fucking sucks. And in 50 years, when we're all inside computers, it'll be Fortnite's fault. So let's not do this. Let's not do this to Fortnite.
I'm not even necessarily.
No, but you're right,
You
though,
know what?
Kevin.
No, I can't say that.
Like, all that
But
ape
I'm
shit,
not-
all the NFT
you know
shit
what?
is because of
No,
Fortnite.
you know
Like, I
what?
believe it.
I'm gonna stand my flatness. I'm not necessarily at this point in 2022 necessarily against the hypothetical incoming metaverse.
It's gonna be bad.
It is
You're gonna
definitely
lose
gonna
your
be
rights.
bad.
It's gonna be
if
bad.
But if Fortnite's leading the charge, you know what? Maybe it won't be that bad.
Dude, Epic Games bought Bandcamp just for fodder to like fight Apple. Like they're scary, man. You can't trust Tim Sweeney.
probably gonna be
I
bad.
don't think you can. Like,
I just want the Tootsie Slide emote, bro. That's
no, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Mike, can we hear something from you?
I mean, Fortnite's goated, so
Okay.
Yes, sir.
what can
Yes,
you,
sir.
what can you say?
Yes, sir.
You gotta come and get the Duneskins play with me and Christian.
Yeah.
Jack, you wanna play? You
yeah.
wanna play?
I'm down. No build.
All right. Word.
I would definitely be down to play. No build mode though. I can't build for my life.
See, I love no build. Yeah. It's funny that I'm talking about how much I love what Fortnite isn't, because it's a Minecraft clone at some point. But I don't know. Now that it's more like PUBG, I like it more. I should have brought PUBG. Really.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm going too hard. It's a good game. But you guys brought two. I can't in good conscience argue this. It's just too heated. Like, even Returnal, Kevin, I think is great. I think I want to play that game pretty bad. I think I'd love it.
Thanks, man.
I would
Thanks, man.
fucking love it. No, I'm.
Thanks, man.
like,
I appreciate it.
I'm being real. I think I'd probably fucking love Returnal. I just have been too scared to start it.
You what?
I've been a little bit too scared to start. Oh, I know they patched in that you can like save now, but when it first
Yeah,
came
there
out,
is that.
I was like kind of like, man,
Hey.
I don't want to do that. But
But hey, bro. Hey. There's co-op, Papa.
oh yeah,
There's co-op, bro.
I would do that.
I'm
I heard
with
there's a
you,
PC port coming. Maybe
I'm with. Yeah, that's definitely happening too. Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna buy Final Fantasy VII on Steam Deck today. I'm pretty excited.
Nice. All right, I think that is 6 minutes. So
Okay.
Oh, that was the point. You were still present.
Any questions now?
I thought this was questions.
oh,
That's why I asked.
I think I
It's
I
okay,
started
we're
the
all
timer.
set.
I thought you said you were done.
I'm so sorry,
okay.
guys. I can't help it.
All right. So the order of voting goes Mike, Kevin, me, Jack, Omar. As usual, in the order, you'll get your close up. All of us will deafen. DM me your votes. So that is going to be 1 point game title, 3 points game title, 5 points game title. And yeah, in the main chat, the group chat, just DM or give a thumbs up when you're ready, and probably send a message. So, Mike, I'll highlight
Can
you.
we just
3, 2,
before can we run through the games
Yes.
that have been brought up?
So we have Civilization 6, Returnal, Dark Souls Remastered, Metal Gear Solid, and Fortnite.
All right.
All right, so I will. Everybody else
Can you
deafen.
say
I
those
gotta
games
keep it
just
on.
one
But
more?
yeah, sure. Civ 6, Returnal, Dark Souls Remastered, Metal Gear Solid, Fortnite. Okay. So, I'm not gonna deafen so the stream can hear still, but everybody else can. Mike, keep yours on, and you are highlighted. So.
All right. Well, so of course, if I could vote for Civilization 6, I would, but I can't. No. But so we got Returnal from Kevin, Metal Gear Solid from Jack, Dark Souls Remastered from Christian, and Fortnite from Omar. I gotta say, I don't really think I put Dark Souls very high on the last ballot that we did. And honestly, though Christian had a good presentation, I really loved the video. I don't know if it deserves to be on in the Hall of Game just because it's already been adjudicated once before. So that kind of leaves me with Fortnite, Returnal, and Metal Gear Solid. Returnal looks really, really cool, to be honest. Metal Gear Solid and Fortnite, though, I feel like just have more of that. It has more of that lasting impact. I would say that I would give 5 points to Metal Gear Solid, 3 points to Fortnite, and 1 point to Returnal. So That's what I'm gonna choose.
I'm muted. I thought that y'all can hear me. Okay, hi stream. Hello. I think I'm next. I asked um I asked the panel. I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna just go. Why not? So I think I'm gonna give the 3 points to Metal Gear Solid 5. Right. I mean, that's just it was gonna happen at some point, right, fellas? And now is the time, right? Now is the time. You know what I'm saying? And MGS influenced so much in the gaming space, and also Jack gave a very very detailed um, argument. So definitely makes sense to have MGS there. The second one, I'm gonna give it to Fortnite, honestly, because even though my boy Omar was had the rug pulled out under him because of Christian, of course, not intentionally, but you know what I'm saying. Fortnite is incredibly impactful in the modern day, and I definitely feel like it deserves to be on here. And low key, I'm kind of rooting for it. I'm kind of rooting for Fortnite to be on the Hall of Game, but MGS and Fortnite they both gotta make it. So hopefully they can both make it here. And the last one, I'm about to say Dark Souls Remastered would be the other game. Just no big affinity to Civilization, and honestly, Christian did have a great point in terms of it being like the first quote unquote social game where you could leave those letters for other people to find in game and everything, and it cultivating a quote unquote nice community, even though there's definitely some extremists in that community that definitely be going crazy. You know what I'm saying? But overall, nice community, nice game. Definitely enjoy it. So 3 MGS, 2 points to Fortnite, and then 1 point to Dark Souls Remastered. Thank you.
Alrighty, hey everybody. Making sure this looks fine. Cool. Great presentations all around. A lot of shifting things on the back end before this, but I think everybody still brought it. Everybody fought well for their games. Great games tonight. We got Fortnite, Civ 6, Returnal, Metal Gear Solid, Dark Souls. Obviously, can't vote for my own. I hope that the good natured spirit of the community aspect does not go lost after that Q&A. But anyways, in terms of Fortnite, Civ, Returnal, Metal Gear, Metal Gear Solid easily is getting my 5 points. I already wrote that down. I'm not going to vote for Fortnite because I could see the regret in Omar's eyes during that presentation, and I think there's probably room for multiple pillars of a genre in the Hall of Game. There is absolutely, but I feel like Battle Royale is so new of a genre that it's hard for me to induct another one. Where Fortnite I think is the larger deal, but Apex is just a very finely tuned experience. I have so many hours in Fortnite. I have hundreds of hours in Fortnite. I'm ashamed. It's like 500 probably, but I love playing that game with my friends. It's a very social experience. I play it way more than Apex, but will not be getting any votes. So Metal Gear Solid gets 5. That's easy. So now it's down to Civ versus Returnal. 2 games I have not played for the 3 and the 1. Kevin, I think, made a very cohesive point about arcade and the growth of a studio. So, like, the game does look fun. I really don't care much about the narrative they got going on in Returnal, and he didn't really spend much time talking about it. So just going strictly off the presentation because I don't have firsthand experience with the game. I think Kevin's point about Returnal hit me harder than anything about Civ, which again is a series I don't have experience with, but I know Civ is like a huge, well-regarded, very big deal, big game. And for Mike's presentation, I like his personal angle. I like him talking about what he loves about that game, even though it's not something he's super hardcore in. I can appreciate that. Like, I love Monster Hunter, but I am nowhere near the hour count to put myself up next to huge diehard fans. So I appreciate that angle coming into a game. But I think it will be 3, I hope I don't regret this, points to Returnal and 1 point to Civ 6. All right. I'll send on the next person. Enjoy the voting. I think Jack is next.
All right. Seems like Christian is done. I'm gonna talk. I want to go back and listen to what Christian was saying. Seems like he had some things to work out. He seemed like he was, just from his facial expressions alone, that's all we could see. It seemed like he was struggling. All right, I'll start with my number 1 point, the lowest. I'm gonna give it to Fortnite. I'll tell you right now, I've wanted to bring Fortnite. I would have given that an easy 3 if Omar was real passionate about that thing. Because I think Fortnite, yeah, it's derivative. Good golly, it's derivative. But man, it has so much stuff in it. It's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous game. Shouldn't exist because of how crazy it is. And I think it's amazing. So Fortnite gets the number 1 point spot. Number 3, I'm going to throw Christian a bone. Giving it to Dark Souls Remastered. I think I gave it the 1 point last time. I was waffling between the 3 and 1 point for this one. But I think he gave a very excellent video essay on this thing. So, that's getting 3 points. Number 5, Returnal. It's a game I've never played, but I really liked Kevin's presentation. I like the whole arcade is dead, arcade is not dead situation. I think it's very impressive that the studio went from games like Super Stardust Ultra to Resogun, and now is making games like Returnal. I think that's pretty commendable, and I'm giving that the 5 spot. That's all. That's all I have to say. I'm going to text Christian. Now he knows. I'm going to text the hall that Omar can go. I don't know if he's here. Might have to... Oh, he's here.
All right. Dark Souls, life-changing game for me. Totally fucked my shit up. I really need everyone to put it in. I need everyone to do me a solid on this one. I really need this game in the hall, man. I just fucking do. I love that game. I love that game so fucking much. I really do. Dark Souls gets the 3 points. 2 points goes to Returnal. And then 1 point goes to Metal Gear Solid. Returnal, I like what Kevin spoke about it, and I think I really like it too. And I like Housemarque a lot. I think Housemarque is great. And then 1 point goes to Metal Gear Solid. Let me send this message to Christian right now. It goes 3 Dark Souls, 2 Returnal, 1 Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid, I mean, I love that game, but also I like Metal Gear Solid 2 more, but also, I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing that. Maybe I think that potentially this can get Dark Souls closer in if I give less points to Metal Gear Solid. I don't know. Maybe I should, you know what? Maybe I should give it a Civ 6. Yo, let me do that. Yeah, let's give it a Civ 6, actually. I'm playing it kind of fucking... I just want Dark Souls in. I'm being nasty. Let's get Civ 6 in there as 1 point. Oh, wait, no, let's do... Yeah, 1 for Civ 6. Okay, here we go. No, wait, what? Okay, yeah, that's what we'll do. Yep, that's it. Dark Souls is important to me. And now, yeah, I'm gonna put the chat out here. Right, how do I put the chat out? All good.
I want to hear what Christian was saying.
Why
Christian.
was he looking?
I want to hear
Cheery?
what Christian was saying. It looked like he was having some difficulty deciding on some things.
Yeah, we will get to that in a moment.
I'm so curious. Kevin's rewatching the Final Fantasy II reveal trailer, I think.
I do not have Kevin's points. I was never sent them, so I just need to tally things still. Hold on a moment.
Kevin's looking at like Tifa online.
I'm editing my reactions to the.
You need to send me your points.
I did.
I did not get a Discord DM or a
I
text.
sent them on stream. Oh shit! Sorry, bro. My bad. I got you. I got
Okay.
you, I got you.
All good, all good.
I got you right now, fam.
I'm just making sure the math is good here. Still combining things. Omar, when you say a 3, 2, 1, do you mean the 3 is the 5 point?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
I forgot how many points we do.
Okay. All good.
Yeah, that same as Omar. Three is the highest, and then 1's the lowest.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys can talk. I'm just doing some math, making sure this is good. Tallying things.
We all want to talk
You gonna
about.
double check
What
it?
do you guys want to talk about?
it.
You know what I'm
Quadruple
saying?
check it.
Check out. I got a copy of Avatar, the movie game. It's pretty cool.
I played that on PSP.
Oh really? What did you think?
I did play that on PSP. I did.
Were you a big Avatar guy, Kevin? You seem like you would be.
Not particularly, no. I mean, like, you know, I thought it was cool, but like I wasn't like over the moon like crazy for it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
There's only
See,
one
Rocco,
big
to you.
Avatar guy.
what's that, Jack?
I said there's only one big Avatar guy, and he's
Is it
with us
me?
today.
It's James Cameron.
No, it's Christian.
Oh,
No,
James
Omar's a
Cameron.
bigger Avatar guy than I am. Absolutely.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
got
know
he
that.
got me back
Oh.
on Avatar. He's the one who showed me, and he's like, "It's gonna change your life," and it did. So
I might have. I think
Are
it's
you
great.
are you excited for the what is it like the water?
The
one?
Way of Water.
Way of water,
I'm
yeah.
so in, Mike. I can't wait.
I'm
You should be
excited
too.
for-
dude.
yeah.
we should see that together. We should see that. That'd be.
Yeah,
fun.
that'd be cool.
That'll be interesting.
Getting fucked up at Pandora. Yo.
Okay.
I want to go to the Avatar land in Disney World. What's it called? Pandora. That's the word.
Yeah. I hear some of those rides there are really good.
There is
We
a
should
better
all learn
Pandora.
Navi.
I'm down.
Okay, cool.
There is. There's a better Pandora though. It's Borderlands Pandora, of course.
Bro, no. no.
Hey, you want to see the Borderlands movie day one, midnight?
Is that done? They probably filmed it, right? When
Bro,
is
I
that
don't
coming
know.
out?
I think what's his face?
Kevin Hart?
No, the Gearbox executive that kept bothering
Randy
me on
Pitchford.
set.
Randy Pitchford.
Randy Pitchford, I bet is still on set. Like,
Okay.
but that's why it's not done yet.
Still harassing Kate Blanchett or something.
100%.
Isn't Jack Black voicing Claptrap?
Yes.
Or he's somehow involved?
That sounds
That's
right.
awesome, actually.
I'm with you, Mike. That is awesome too.
Yeah. Christian, who put
Only 2 games
fractions
can get in.
their editions.
What was that?
Did anyone put fractions in their editions?
No, I just had to. I had a tally halfway through, and it messed with my thing when I got the stuff in a different order. So
So, I would like to announce something to the panel. I would like to respectfully, I swear to God, if any of you bring FF7 remake before me, I'm gonna beat someone's ass. Okay,
I thought-
I'm booking-
I
I'm
have a
booking
theory
to
that's
play.
what Kevin's original game was that he didn't
It
bring.
wasn't. It wasn't actually.
Oh.
It wasn't actually. Yeah. And
Okay.
I'd rather use the one that I'm gonna bring, that I was gonna bring before FF7.
If it was not FF7 remake, then it was either God of War 2018 or Last of Us. That's my prediction.
Ooh,
Here's your
can I
predictions.
say, Last
Here's
of
your
Us,
predictions.
my favorite video game? I'll never bring that game to the home.
well, that's why
You
I
don't
feel
want
about Kingdom
to
Hearts.
tear it down?
I'm not bringing Kingdom Hearts ever.
Wow.
I don't
just
need to bring-
just because you don't want to see it lose, right?
I don't
Jack?
trust any of you.
it's that. I feel like I don't know. It's one of those like too obvious type games.
Yeah.
Maybe Metal Gear's.
Okay, guy brings
Or,
Metal
like-
Gear Solid.
Yeah. No, you're
Well, no, well, that's the thing.
But I also
That's
brought Simpsons Hit and Run, you know? There
Yeah.
are levels in my choice.
I try to limit myself to like I get one obvious one per year that should be a slam dunk, and that's why when I brought Pokemon earlier, I was like that might be a slam dunk, and when I brought Dark Souls, I was like it should be a slam dunk. So I
That's what I thought too, Christian.
allowed it. So all right, we have results in. So we're gonna go least votes to most votes. Coming in last place with
Please, God.
2 votes. Civ 6.
All right. Yeah.
I think Civ 6 is great, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, I thought you did a great job. I give you a point. All
I played that game. I played probably about 20 hours of that game. It's fun.
right.
It's a game series I've always been interested in, but I've never played.
Coming in next up is with 7 votes, Fortnite.
What the fuck, guys?
Oh,
Omar,
I was here
said,
for you.
I said this
fucking-
would be an easy 3 for me,
Uh-huh.
but you copped out. Don't.
Jack, I know you were going to give it a 3, and that's why I had to fucking tank it so
I
bad.
literally would have given you 3 points on this.
Yeah, I know. I know. I felt it.
You had me at Fortnite.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'm sorry to let you down.
All right. So we are down to the last 3 games. We have Returnal, Metal Gear Solid, and Dark Souls Remastered. I'm going to go with the thing that got the most votes and then come down to the second place vote for the second game. So the first inductee of the 2022 Summer Hall of Games ceremony with 15 votes, I think probably a record, we have Metal Gear Solid.
Wow.
Congratulations, Jack.
Congratulations.
I will only bring silly games for the rest of the year. I don't know. I don't know if I could say that. But I'm
Last
gonna
was
bring a
pretty
silly
silly.
game. Last was real silly.
So it comes down to the second game of this ceremony by a vote of, 12 to 9. The second game inducted into the Hall of Game for summer 2022, Returnal.
Nice.
beat Dark Souls again. You damn. That's actually pretty surprising. Wow. I really thought it was gonna be Fortnite and MGS. Wow. So none of y'all played Returnal, but y'all picked Returnal. You see, that's how good that game is. You know what I'm saying? That's that.
I gave you 3 for the presentation.
I don't blame me. I definitely no. I that gameplay. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Well, I definitely appreciate it, gentlemen. Did
What do-
not expect to win. Wow.
Would
Look
we
at
like
that.
to go through
Don't see it.
votes as we wrap up?
Sure.
Same order.
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. I don't mean to be rude, Christian, but I did not vote for Dark Souls on the principle that it's been brought to this before.
But that's allowed though. It's okay.
But
right?
that was allowed.
Yeah, but Mike has his old like baseball era, like
Yeah,
we're gonna
no,
throw
no.
at the
It's
batter
up to-
just because
it's up
they
to
upset
the-
us.
I think
Up
I
to the
respect that.
discretion of the voter, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I couldn't do that. Anyways, I gave 1 point to Returnal, 3 points to Fortnite, and 5 points to Metal Gear Solid.
Kevin, your points?
I did 5 points to Metal Gear Solid, 3 points to Fortnite, and then 1 point to Dark Souls.
Come on,
I
Kevin.
Dude, I'm sorry. Because I was like, yo, definitely. You know what? You're right. I should have flipped it because in my thought, I'm like, it's definitely going to be MGS and Fortnite.
There's still
So I
time,
wasn't thinking
Kevin.
too hard.
there's not
Crunch the numbers, Christian.
there's not time.
Hey, stop. Restart the count? You want to restart the count?
I think you guys are fucked up, to be honest. I think Dark Souls needs to be in this list.
I
Uh,
would like to say something too. Just because Christian did bring Dark Souls
I don't
doesn't
think we
mean
can say it again.
doesn't mean we have to vote for it, you know. So
No, it doesn't.
I gave 5 points to Metal Gear Solid. That's one of the best games ever made, easily. Jack presented it well, I thought. I gave 3 points to Returnal. It came down to Returnal and Civ 6, Jack. That was the pensive thought you saw on my face because I haven't played either of them. So it just came down to the way it was presented. And I think Returnal's probably a game I'd play before I played Civ. But Mike, I thought you gave a great presentation for Civ as well, and I want to play that now. So, yeah, 3 to Returnal and 1 to Civ 6. So,
I gave 1 point to Fortnite. Like I said, wouldn't given Omar the whole shebang. And I gave 3 points to Dark Souls, and because I thought Christian a very good video essay. And then I gave 5 points to Returnal. I liked the whole arcade is dead, arcade is not dead. Opening, closing. It's also very impressive what that studio did, I think, even though I haven't played it yet.
Has this happened where none of the panel has played a game that got inducted?
Burnout
Because
Revenge.
there's usually like someone
Yeah.
that's like, oh, okay, yeah, like I've like played this before.
last time Mike got Burnout Revenge in, and none of us have played it.
Oh, interesting.
And I think, I mean, Outer Wilds, you and Omar played, and then
Yeah.
Jack, I know you did after. Mike, you did too, I think, after? Or you wanted to?
No, I played it.
Yeah,
after.
okay. So, Omar, how did your votes shake out?
My vote shook out. I gave 3 points to Dark Souls just because I haven't even played. I don't even give a shit about those games, to be honest with you. Fuck that game. But Christian, on the principle of doing the best effort I saw today, no disrespect to any of you, with that beautifully edited, well-written video, I can't believe some of you guys didn't vote for this fucking guy. I'm kind of disgusted, to be quite frank. He put in the most fucking work. And just because you have because it's my fault for bringing it one time before, no one wants to give points to Christian for doing the most fucking work. Christian, I'm sorry that you have to have me as a black mark against your credit card. I don't know I'm sorry. Like, it was a great video, and Dark Souls is an important game. It means a lot, and at some point, you guys will be fans. I know it. Then I gave 2 points to Returnal because Returnal seems really great. I think I would like it. And Kevin, I like his whole presentation of letting the game speak for itself, really. And he obviously spoke a lot too. But I don't know. My eyes were glued to that background. I was like, holy shit, look at that game. And then I gave 1 point to Civ 6 just because I thought Metal Gear Solid is too obvious. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah.
I like your and Mike's old like baseball managerial style, like
A little bit.
principle.
I was honestly thinking in my head, like, okay, wait, because at some point I feel like before like fucked myself by voting for a game that I was already gonna get in, and I was like, how can I influence this? I was being a bit nasty, I have to admit, and I apologize. I think everyone did a great job, really. Metal Gear Solid is probably the greatest game of all time, but sometimes you have to make plays, and yeah, that's how it shook out for me.
I said to Christian
Also-
before this, I was hoping you were gonna bring Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah,
Because I think
one
that
day.
would have been a really interesting conversation.
That would have been funny, and if I had an inkling that you were going to do it, I would have done it for the shits. But when you bring Metal Gear Solid 5, Jack, maybe I'll bring Metal Gear Solid 2.
Maybe.
Omar, you brought this up, but I think I want to reiterate. What?
No, go ahead.
No disrespect to Christian.
None taken at all. None taken at all.
Oh, see, I thought you implied full disrespect.
No. But I have to say, you did put in the most effort out of all of us. It was the most impressive presentation for
Thank
sure.
you.
So
And I might want to add too, like, I feel like you can do the most effort, but I do like the idea that we can still like have a guy that's doing a from the fly presentation and have that go against you. But no, I think Christian's video was pretty awesome. I think you should upload that just privately too.
I will, yeah. I was planning on
Okay.
it, but
Okay.
Dark Souls is like the Barry Bonds of Hall of Game, I think. Like, he had the most home runs in baseball, but he took steroids. There's an asterisk next to
I'm
his
gonna
name.
bring it again.
He'll never get in.
well, I don't think Dark Souls is gonna get brought again, but that's fine because there are 2 better From Software games that exist. So I'm
Fucking
fine with
Christian,
that.
you lost me now.
Nah, well, beat Sekiro, then we'll talk. That is the summer 2022 Hall of Game.
Wow. Wow, that was some fighting words right there.
Great presentations, everybody. Great games. Congratulations to Metal Gear Solid and Returnal. They will be added to the illustrious character sheet. Now that I'm saying that, it would have been very funny to put Gandhi on one of those.
Guys, you wouldn't have Returnal if you didn't have Dark Souls. That's all I'm gonna say.
I have a request. Can we put Celine and Solid Snake back to back? Like, is that possible?
It's funny because I was just thinking Gandhi with a nuke next to Solid Snake would be a great
Fire.
picture.
Elite.
But yeah,
That's Mr. Chan.
we will be back for another Hall of Game in September. That's how these shake out every quarter. Panelists start thinking of your games. Lessons have been learned about strategy, I think, at the Solid Game that I will keep in my heart moving forward and keep in mind for making picks. But thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thank you for giving us your time and listening to us talk about some very great video games. As we wrap up, everybody, where can people find you? What do you want to shout out? Mike, we'll start with you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Mike P. Connors.
Very nice. You can follow me on Twitter at ChuntyD2, TikTok as well. Here, youtube.com/joyclicks is the archive of all of our reactions to things. Lately, Joyclicks audio feeds, we got Jedi Knights, me and Mike do. We got Excelsior, me and Jack do that. Omar and I did a conversation recently about Elden Ring you can find on the Long Play Club feed. And, of course, me and Kevin every week on Gamescast. And, yeah. Jack, what about you?
Yeah, like what Christian said, we have a Marvel's Avengers, because that game's still going very strong, believe it or not. It is the best supported game there is.
Interesting.
It's called Excelsior. You can listen to that. We have Ms. Marvel impressions. It's a very good show. Everything else on Disney Plus is worse because of its existence. But you can also follow me on Twitter at FastandDaveJack.
Nice. Kevin, throwing it to you.
YouTube comments plays in source. We got a lot of things talking about there. We got a lot of things going on. You know what I'm saying? We got some things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Definitely go check out that Road to Ragnarok incoming. Road to Part 1 incoming. A lot of Final Fantasy 7 talk, and yeah, and other PlayStation coverage, of course. Gamescast as well on Joyclicks, all that good stuff.
And Omar, take us home.
You can find me on the YouTube channel Joyclicks, where I talk to Christian sometimes during a press conference. But you'll never see me on the Hall of Game again. Fuck you guys. I'm out. I don't mean that. I'll be back. I'm sorry.
Did you plug Twitter and Twitch? Do you say
Oh,
that?
Twitch. You're right. I have one of those. My Twitch channel is twitch.tv/ohmsthechef. Twitter, we can't plug.
Well,
Omar is the most eclectic Twitter feed of any of us.
Yeah.
Truly.
that's great. Alrighty.
Sometimes I wonder how he's allowed to be posting these things on Twitter.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm gonna have to co-sign. Someone said that for real.
Yeah.
But I definitely appreciate it.
Okay, cool. I hope you guys like it.
Oh yeah.
Oh no,
All
I
of it.
definitely do.
All right. Well, until
Like
September.
Metal Gear Solid, the highs and lows.
Yes, the highs and lows. Until September, we'll be back with more games for the Hall of Game. We'll see what else joins Returnal and Metal Gear Solid. But thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.